Hey guys, welcome back. This is assignment 3 review for your grade enhancement. So if you're wanting to boost your third 9 weeks grade by 1 letter grade, this video will help explain topics that are on your assignment 3 on Agile Minds, which is dealing with multiplying and dividing integers. So I'm going to go through a few problems that will look like problems you'll have on your assignment. So first we have, on the first play, the Wobegon High School football team lost 2 yards. On each of the next 3 plays, they lost 2 yards. How many yards did they total on the 4 plays? Each time they lost 2 yards, so loss is known as a negative, so a negative 2 times 4, so negative 2 times 4, that's 1 negative number, so you would see it written like negative 2 times 4. Remember, if there's an odd amount of negative numbers, then your final answer will be negative. There's just 1 negative number, 1 is odd, so my final answer has to be negative. So 2 times 4 is 8. So they lost, how many yards did they total on the 4 plays? They had a negative 8-yard loss. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Abigail saw this question on her geometry quiz. So it's an exponent. How should she simplify this expression? So really what that problem is saying is negative, oh gosh, I don't know where I got 3 from. Negative 4 is written 3 times, and they're being multiplied. So there are 3 negative numbers. 3 is odd, so that means my final answer is going to have to be a negative as well. Then I know 4 times 4 is 16. I need to multiply by another 4. If I don't know that, I can get my calculator. 16 times 4, and I get 64. And I knew my answer had to be negative. Oh gosh, I wrote 16 again. I'm having brain parts today. 64, so negative 64 should be my answer, and there it is. Okay, let's try another question. The Magnificent 5 music company is selling 5 different album downloads by Rip Rap for a profit of $5 for each album. They also sell the albums in bundles containing all 5 albums. Last Tuesday, they sold 5 bundles. Man, lots of 5s. Which expression shows their profits on Tuesday for all of the Rip Rap albums? Okay, so there were 5 different albums, profit of $5 each for items. So far we have 5 times 5 times 5. This 5 means nothing because that's in the name of the this 5 means nothing because that's in the name of the company. Then it says they also sell the albums in a bundle containing all 5 albums. Last Tuesday they sold 5 bundles. So this sentence here didn't really tell me anything. Last Tuesday they sold 5 bundles, so they sold 5 of them. Which expressions shows the profit for Tuesdays? Okay, so I have 5 times 5 times 5. I don't see that. This is all pluses, so that cannot be it. This says negative 5. We have positive 5, so that cannot be it. This is multiplying by 5, but then dividing it by 3. We did not do that. This just has 2 of them, and this one says we're multiplying by 5 3 times, so that would be my answer there. Stefano did not study for his weekly quiz on integer multiplication. He knows he needs to multiply here, but he's uncertain about the sign of the product. Okay, and then it says which is the correct answer. So I see a negative, a negative, a negative, a positive. So there are 3 negatives. 3 is an odd number, so that means my final answer must be negative, because odd means negative, even means positive. So that means anything that's positive is not going to be my answers. So then I would multiply here. I know 6 times 5 is 30. A negative times I'm not even going to worry about my negatives because I know my final answer has to be negative. So I know 6 times 5 is 30. I know 2 times 2 is 4. I can multiply those two numbers. 30 times 4 is going to be 120. And we already said the answer had to be negative, so negative 120. Okay, let's try another. Maria's business lost $34. Which set of factors below include only factors of the product negative 34? Okay. 2 times 17, or negative 2 times 17. When you double check that 17 times 2 does give you 34. It does. So I have a negative times a positive. That's going to give me a negative, so that's good. Negative times a positive gives me a negative. 17 times 2 gives me 34, so that's good. A negative times a negative, that's an even number, so that's going to turn positive. So this did not work out. So this is not good. I have a negative times a positive, which is a negative. That works. And again, that works. Negative times positive. 34 times a negative 1. That is a negative, so that works. And then negative times a positive is a negative 34, so that works. So it looks like this is the answer. We need to double check the rest of them. Negative times a negative is a positive, so that won't work. Positive times a positive is a positive, so that's not going to work. Negative times a positive, yeah, that works. Oh, but negative times a negative is a positive, so that does not work. So this one would indeed be my answer. Alrighty. So the next one says, which statements below related to multiplying integers are true? Select all that apply. So here I have a bunch of negative 2's being multiplied by each other. And they said that's the same thing as just multiplying all these 2's together. I need to check and see how many negatives they are to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is an even number, so that means even turns out positive. So that means these two will indeed get the same answer as long as there's 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like this one is true. Here it says all of these is the same as negative 2 to the 6th power. Well, as long as there's 6 negative 2's listed, that's going to be correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is correct. I'm going to check that box. This says negative 2 to the 5th. So as long as there's 5 negative 2's, we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're good there. So I'd check that box. This says all of that equals a negative 36. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. 4 is even, so my final answer should be positive, and it's not. So that does not work. So I cannot check that box as true. I don't even care what amount it gives me. Okay. Which equations are true? Select all that apply. Alright, the first one here, I have a negative times a positive. That gives me a negative, so that's good. 14 times 20. I'm going to check that. 14 times 20 is 280, and it gives me a negative, so that one is good. This says a negative divided by a negative. That follows the same rule as multiplying. Negative and a negative, that's 2, which is even, so it'd be positive. 63 divided by 9. Check that. 63 divided by 9 is 7. So this worked out. Okay, they said all of this is going to equal a positive 144. I'm going to check my signs first. I have a 1, 2, 3 negatives. 3 is odd, so that means my final answer's got to be negative. So that means this is not true here, so I'm not going to check that. Okay, going to check my negatives for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4's even, and it's a positive, so we're good. So let's multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 times 1 is 30. 30 times 7. Well, 3 times 7 is 21. Add a 0 is 210. So it looks like that one is true. Alright, check the negatives again. 1, 2, 3. 3 is odd, so this should be negative. So let's check the math. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 times 3 is 96. 96 times 2 is 192, and we said the signs was good, so this would be checked as well for true. Alright, let's check another one. The owners of That's My Jam Clothing had a profit of $1,600 in November. The partners shared the profit equally. What is the profit for each partner? So there's 4 owners, splitting $1,600 by 4. That means we're going to divide it. Profit means a gain, so a plus. So 1,600 divided by 4 part owners. So they're each going to get 400 in profit. Abigail is puzzled. Her geometry quiz is about perfect squares, but she can't figure out the answer to this question. Okay, so it looks like -6 squared, which is correct. Well, the problem here is there's no parenthesis around the -6. So all this is saying is whatever answer that she gets, it's got to have a negative sign. So 6 is the only answer with a square on it. So 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. Whatever you get, you're making it a negative. So negative 36. Hard to write with the mouse sometimes. So the correct answer is negative 36. That would be different if it was written like this, because this says we're going to take this whole thing here, the negative 36, -6 times -6 is a positive 36. It gave me a totally different answer. This says whatever 6 times 6 is, we're going to make it negative. So 6 times 6 is 36. We make it negative. It's a negative 36. So you have to watch your signs. Alright, let's see. Jackie is taking a week-long football class. The first day she gained 6 yards on her only possession of the football. On the second day, she quarterbacks for 3 plays and gained 6 yards on each play. What is the total number of yards Jackie gained? Alright, so first day, gained 6 yards. You write it out here. First day is gaining 6 yards. The second day, we need to talk about her gains there. She had 3 plays, and each play gained 6 yards. So 3 times 6 yards. I need to find the total here. Well, 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 6 gives me 24. So she gained a total, gain is positive, of 24 yards. Which of these real-world contexts is represented by this equation? Select all that apply. So I have a -4 times a 3.5 equals a -14. Okay, the first one says, what is the change in altitude if the balloon lost an altitude of 4? Lost means negative, so the 4 would be negative, so that's good. 4 feet per minute for a total of 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes is positive here. So that looks like it works out pretty well. What is the change in altitude of the balloon? Gained 4 yards. Gained is positive 4. Nope, that can't work there. What is the change in the account balance if someone spent $4? Spent is represented by a -4, so that matches up. Per month for 3.5 months. 3.5 is positive, so that matches up, so that one looks good. What is the change in the account balance if someone saved? Saved is a positive 4. Well, that doesn't match up, so it looks like those two would be the only options for this question. All right. Which expression is represented with the tiles? So it looks like there's 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and they're all negative. So I need a 2 by 5. So it can't have any of these 10s in them, so I'm going to cross those out. And I know my final answer is going to be negative because they're all negatives. And I know there are 10 total negative tiles shown. So my final answer is a -10. Well, I know a negative times a negative is a positive because that's 2 negatives. So it cannot be this one. This says 2 rows of -5s. 2 times a -5 is -10. I see -10 tiles, so this would have to be my answer option. Which scenario could be modeled by this expression? I have -350 divided by 4. That's my Jam Clothing Company, has 4 owners, so +4. Last month the company earned $350. Well, earned is a positive, and I need a -350, so it looks like this one is out. The 4 owners of That's My Jam Company lost $350 in 1 month. There's 4 positive owners. Lost means negative, so it looks like that one is correct. The 4 owners of That's My Jam Company each lost $350. How much did that affect the company's earnings? Let me reread that. The 4 owners of That's My Jam Company each lost $350. This is saying that one owner lost $350, the second owner lost $350, the third owner lost $350, and the fourth owner lost $350. So it would have a bigger total than a -350. Our biggest total here is a -350. So this one does not make sense. That's My Jam Clothing Company has 4 owners. I agree. Last month the company lost a total of $350. That makes sense. So it would be this option as well. but this is not a select all that applies. So I had 2 selected. So I need to see, that's where it benefits reading all your options to make sure you're choosing the right one. So let me go back and read this one. The 4 owners of That's My Gym Company, oh, there's that word each that got us over here. Each lost $350 in 1 month. That means one owner lost $350, another owner lost $350, another owner lost $350. So that word each is throwing it off here. So that means this indeed needs to be the final answer. That is the benefit of reading all your answer options. And that was the last question. So again, this was assignment 3 review. So you can complete assignment 3 review, or assignment 3 on Agile Minds, and try for an 80% or above. If you get close but not, you can still get on Alex's assignment 3 and email me when you're done, so I know that you are attempting to boost your that progress or that report card grade. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and peace out, home dogs.